Hi, I'm Reynolds with Allie's Organics, and we're going to show you how to graft a tomato in tissue culture. And simply said, it's basically you're going to be grafting a tomato plant into a potato plant. You can do a potato plant, or you could also do a wild tobacco plant, which actually I prefer because it ends up being a healthier plant. But we have the potato today. Okay, what I want to do is to cut this tomato plant. I'm going to cut it in a V shape. I'm actually going to cut it right off at the ground right at first. Then it has to be it has to be underneath these cotyledon leaves, which are your first leaves. And you want to make sure you have a sharp knife, and I'm just using a grafting knife. And I'm going to cut them on about a 60-degree angle, both sides, making basically a wedge. Then I want to set this in some water. I want to make sure that this goes directly into some water right away because I don't want it to dry out. That'll make it to where we have less chance of this taking. So I'm going to take this potato plant and I'm just going to do the opposite. I'm going to create a negative V shape. I'm going to cut off some of these leaves. And we're going to get it pretty much the same size as this other one that we've cut. We've got a V in this, and we've cut this into a V just below the cotyledons. We could use some bands. They're kind of hard to use. You can use some grafting tape, or you could also use some electrical wire, which I'm going to use. And I'm actually going to use a little stake because it just kind of helps hold it a little bit better. I'm going to slip that guy right in there, and we're going to wrap it. What we're looking for is for these to grow together. And the purpose for doing this is, if you're a hobbyist, of course, then it's great. But then too, if you've got small space in a greenhouse and you want to have potatoes in there, then you could also have a tomato. But if you're doing it with a wild tobacco, then you'll also get more disease resistant with this tomato. Okay, at this point, we're going to put this in the greenhouse or wherever you can where you're not in direct sunlight, because the direct sunlight will cause this guy to wilt. And we're going to put it in that, and you want to have it sit there for a couple of weeks left alone. Keep it moist. You probably want to try 3 or 4 of these because not everyone will take. They're kind of tricky. This isn't for a beginner gardener to do. So stick that in there. You'll see it starting to heal and it'll start to bulge. You want to remove this electrical tape, then stick it in the ground and let it grow.